Welcome, everybody, to Tino's Time. Yes, I said it. It's Tino's Time, not Tino's Time Wrestling. Since the Super Bowl, since the Los Angeles Rams took home the crown, took home the trophy for being the best team in the NFL, Cooper Kupp won MVP, there hasn't been much going on. The MLB was in a lockout, and the NFL just, they took a little break, but the beginning of March, what a month it was, people. Baseball is back. The lockout is behind us. Baseball's in spring training in high gear. Opening day is on April 7th. Some home openers are on April 12th. The White Sox home opener is, and your boy Tino is going. We got so much stuff going on in the NFL. We got free agency frenzy. We got team swapping teams like it's Madden with franchise mode. And we got trades turned off and we got forced trades on. It's ridiculous. We got so much going on in the sports world. So your boy Tino decided, let's do a recap of everything that's been going on in the sports world the last month. And it's also WrestleMania week, baby. We have 5 nights of WrestleMania because everything that has to do with WWE programming is WrestleMania this week. But that's okay. We're not going to talk too much about it because you guys are tired of hearing me talk about wrestling. If you want to listen to me talk about wrestling, go check out all of my wrestling content that I have coming out for WrestleMania week. This is about NFL, the MLB, and we're even going to talk a little bit about basketball because basketball is getting into high gear too. But on today's episode, I have a special guest joining me. He was one of my friends. He is in my fantasy football league. Sadly, he only won 1 game this year, and we're going to make fun of him a little bit, but that's okay. So let's welcome my man, King Sall, to Tino's Time. Welcome to Tino's Time. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you for coming on the show. You're actually one of the few guests. I try to have people on the show all the time, but nobody ever wants to come. That's okay. But how do you feel about this crazy month that was sports in general between MLB, NBA, NFL? NFL, I swear, they're playing Madden right now.
Nah, I think this is the craziest NFL offseason ever.
I've never seen so many moves with so many big guys switching teams. Like we see the photo swaps and the jersey swaps all the time. But now it's just becoming a reality and an everyday thing. Nobody is safe. Like, let's be real here. We'll talk about it later.
Once I seen Davante Adams get traded, I was like, anybody can get traded. Anybody on the market can get traded.
Literally. That was once very surprising move. And we'll get to Davante Adams. But before we get to Davante, let's go all the way back to the beginning of March. When, after the Super Bowl, I kind of said it in the beginning before we brought you on the show. I said, like, for a little bit there between the MLB lockout, Super Bowl was over, for like a couple of weeks, there really wasn't much going on. Like, yeah. There was just like, it was just like that dull time where it seems like Super Bowl ends, baseball's getting ready for spring training, but they couldn't do anything. But then that stuff came out with Calvin Ridley. I drafted him in fantasy. We'll be talking a lot about fantasy this year, or in this episode. But Calvin Ridley, man, this guy, he went and had some personal issues, he said, and he took some time off in the NFL. But while he was doing that, he decided to bet on the Falcons. Why in the hell would you bet on your own team in the Falcons? I had Ridley in fantasy. I also had Cordell Patterson. At one point, he was my number 1 running back. And I watched all the Falcons games. They were awful in every aspect of the game. Why would Calvin Ridley risk his NFL career to bet on the Falcons? How do you feel about this situation? Because when it came out, I was in shock. He did get suspended for all of this upcoming season, so he's not going to be on the field. And the Falcons just recently traded Matt Ryan. We'll tell you later to what team. They're moving on. They did re-sign Cordell Patterson. We'll get to Cordell later on. But how do you feel about Ridley? Like, what is your take on this?
I feel like he was just bored. He had nothing better to do. He really had nothing better to do. No football. he's like, I might as well just like bet on the Falcons for fun. And now it brought him to this. I don't think he was betting big money because he said he only bet like 1.5K anyway.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like even lower. I think it was like 1,500 or something like that. I think it was. Yeah. I can't remember the exact amount, but yeah, it wasn't that much money. That
he was definitely bored. He didn't. He was just at home doing a whole lot of nothing. So he was like, "I'm a bet."
I still want to know why he like left. I know, like, I understand like the personal issues and everything like that, and like mental health is very important and everything, but like. They're obviously then he was fine if he was betting on games. I don't know. I just once that happened, it just
I feel like that the punishment was too much.
Yeah.
1 year, and there's people doing way worse things in the NFL getting 4 games.
Oh, well, yeah, and that's the thing where it just seems like, maybe he should have been punished, but I don't think he should have been punished to this extent.
Yeah, he should have been gone for like 3 games.
Because now, like, I don't even with Ridley gone, the Falcons don't really have an offense. Julio's been gone for a few years. Cordell Patterson turned into Mr. Do-It-All last year. Kyle Pitts, I swear, is living on an island. He don't know what the hell he's going to do. And Marcus Mariota is the new quarterback.
And Russell Gage is gone.
Yeah, that was the other guy, too. They were just talking about, I was watching NFL Network. They were saying he might go to the Chiefs because we'll talk about the Chiefs later. You're a big Chiefs fan, and you're probably not feeling too good, but we'll get to that later on. We'll get to the Chiefs. Yeah. I don't want to get too off track. Now, after Ridley did all that, then we had the return for Aaron Rodgers to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers said, I'm going to take all your money, Green Bay, and I'm just going to take $50 million a year. That's
the difference between him and Brady right there.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? Because I think we were thinking the same thing.
Like, Aaron Rodgers doesn't care about – I mean, I don't know if he doesn't care about the Super Bowls, but, like, you can't be taking all the money, all the cap space, all this drama just for you to, like, do all the same thing every year, go to the NFC Championship and lose.
Well, and that's the thing where it's like, like Brady, every year he's taking pay cuts so they can go out and get a Leonard Fournette and Antonio Brown, sign Mike Evans for longer, keep Chris Godwin, get all these guys, keep Rojo as long as they did. They went out and got, I think they had, they had they had all these great guys. And that's why the Buccaneers were able to win the Super Bowl with Brady. But Rodgers can have fun beating the crap out of the Bears, Vikings, and Lions all day long. But that's all he's going to be able to do. And, he took $50 million a year for 4 years. He does have an opt-out after the 3rd year. But then the Packers, they didn't have enough money. And you just said it. They traded Devontae Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders. And, with Rodgers losing his best weapon, I don't know how well that's going to go. And we were talking about it off camera before we started recording about our fantasy and our keepers. And I really don't know if I want to keep Rodgers because he doesn't have anyone to throw to. I was looking at the depth chart. It's Randall Cobb and Allen Lazard, and nothing against them, but they are no number ones and they're no.
Yeah, those are good wide receiver threes.
Yes. And that's the thing where you could go get somebody in the draft, but nobody is going to be like Devontae Adams. So we'll have to see. And that was crazy with what Rodgers did. And, I'm not happy about it as a Bears fan because I'm tired of seeing this man own us every year, like the championship. I need a championship belt somewhere. But after Aaron Rodgers signed that big contract, the Seattle Seahawks decided to blow it up and trade Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. Did you see that coming? I saw that nowhere. The Broncos were nowhere on my list. Last year he was talking about the Bears and this and that, and I was like, "That's smoke in the mirror." I'm in La La Land. And
I heard more Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos.
So did I, and that would have been a great spot for Aaron.
That would have, but this is also a great spot for Russell Wilson. I mean, it's a good spot, but now he got to face Mahomes twice a year.
Well, yeah, but think about the weapons that he has. And, that whole AFC, we'll talk about the whole AFC if we can, because we talked about Adams. Everything went down in the AFC West, it seems like this year. The Broncos got Russell. They have with him with Javonte Williams in his second year. And I think he's going to be prediction. It's only March. I think Javonte Williams will be a top 10 running back in fantasy and in the NFL this year. I think
that's a fair take. That's a fair take.
I think Russell's going to elevate him. We've talked about it. You tried to get Jerry Jeudy out of me last year. We talked. I talked about it on my fantasy show, man. I was like, I'm trying to trade. I need a running back because after Derrick Henry went out and everything, I was like, I need a running back and I need something. And I talked about it. How I was
loaded with them. Loaded with injured running backs.
Man, you shouldn't have named your team injury prone or something injury because you had no luck last year. No luck at all. Everything went bad for you, man. It was awful. But like with Jerry Jeudy and Cordell Sutton, and even though they traded Noah Fant, which I was very surprised that they did to Seattle, I think that Russell will be fine. And I think that the deep ball that Russell's going to be able to do with Cordell is phenomenal. But speaking of that division, because while we're in that division, the Raiders also got Chandler Jones, but your team, the Kansas City Chiefs, they went out and got Juju Smith-Schuster, but they decided to trade Patrick Mahomes' favorite weapon, Tyreek Hill, to South Beach in Miami for a buttload of picks. How do you feel about this as a Chiefs fan? Are you happy with Juju? Are you happy with the picks?
I mean, I'm happy with Juju when we had Tyreek Hill. But, like, why did we give away Tyreek Hill for 5 picks? Like, who are those 5 picks going to, like, none of them, which of the 5 picks are going to turn out to be a Tyreek Hill?
Exactly. And that's the thing I don't think these teams realize sometimes. You know, not everybody's going to get lucky with a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase or
that's what I'm saying.
All these guys.
But we could end up with a Jalen Reagor.
Well, Jay,
like, no disrespect to him, but like we could, you don't know who we're going to get.
Exactly. And again, no respect to him, but like, I mean, I think the Eagles, they took him over Justin Jefferson. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
And it's that close. Like, we could be that close to getting a Justin Jefferson, but that far away from getting a Justin Jefferson.
Exactly. And that's the risk that you take where it's like trading this much picks, you're not going to know the full trade details until all those like draft picks are over with. And
even if we were to get a Jalen Reagor type player, he's like people like over exaggerate saying he sucks, all that, but like he's not Tyreek Hill. Not too many people are Tyreek Hill.
No.
And like I don't like most of the like late draft picks like never end up like not never end up, but like most of the time they don't become like stars or Pro Bowlers or All Pro. Like Tyreek Hill was all of that. And you guys we gave him away for 5 draft picks. I mean,
if it was 5 first round picks, I would have been like, hell yeah. Take it all. But I mean, and that's the thing. We're just not going to know. So like, speaking of wide receivers though, what about Amari Cooper going to the Cleveland Browns?
I feel like the Cleveland Browns can be a sleeper team.
Man, the Cleveland Browns, they did not only get Amari Cooper. I'm switching on my words here. They told Baker Mayfield they don't want him as a quarterback, and they went out and got Deshaun Watson. I cannot believe when I saw that. This was like, I remember when the Texans drafted Watson, and that was the same year the Bears drafted Mitch Trubisky. Oh God, good luck.
Same year the Chiefs drafted Mahomes.
Well, that same year Mahomes too. So it's just like, it's crazy to think that, you know, the Browns had the first pick that year too. And I think they drafted Myles Garrett. I think that was the year they drafted Myles Garrett, if I'm not mistaken. Get mixed up with all these drafts. The years fly by now. But I think Watson and Cooper is going to be a great connection. They have Chubb. They still have Kareem Hunt. They're going to be a really good team, and that defense still is going to be really dangerous. So
that's a good team right there.
That's a team that you know
everybody Watson play this like first couple of months.
Everybody wanted to watch, but now that we talked a little bit about Watson and Cooper, and you know we still have so much to get to, so I don't want to talk about too much about everything. Like you know, take up too much time about one subject. We have 2 quarterbacks. We have the Commanders. The Washington Commanders, get used to that because I still haven't. They went out and got a new quarterback. They went out and got Carson Wentz from the Indianapolis Colts.
I'm not gonna lie. That one kind of surprised me.
Yes, it did. And
because I thought the Colts was gonna give Carson Wentz one more chance. I thought they were gonna give him one more chance.
Honestly, man, I think what did it for them is them losing to Jacksonville in the last week. They should not have lost to Jacksonville. I'm sorry. Like,
they lost me a lot of money that day too.
I remember you telling me that, man, and it was like nothing against Trevor Lawrence, James Robinson. They're gonna have phenomenal careers. Jaguars, hopefully, you make the playoffs one year. But like the Colts should have won that game and made the playoffs and should have been whatever. And I think if they did, I think the Colts would have kept him. But Washington's got a new quarterback and they got, scary Terry McLaurin. He's quarterback proof. He's had Colt McClory. He's had flipping Taylor Heineke. He at least gets a better guy that can hopefully throw the ball better than those guys. I think Carson Wentz will do good in Washington.
You think he's gonna be there for a couple of years, or you think he's gonna like bounce around and then become a backup?
I think if he does good this year, I think they'll stay. But I think it just depends on the year because we see it so much now how much these quarterbacks change teams and how much and that speaking of quarterbacks, there's just so many things going on, dude. Like within this month, it's ridiculous. Like we're only it's crazy. So. The other quarterback, we talked a little bit about Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is now the new quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. So that was a guy earlier. We talked about Matt Ryan. I didn't tell you what team at least. He went to the Indianapolis Colts. And, I was surprised, but I think that's going to be good for Matt Ryan to get a fresh start. He looked happier leaving Atlanta. Maybe Atlanta is just like a misery and a pit. Everybody wants to leave Atlanta, I guess. But he gets to go with Jonathan Taylor, a young receiving core with Michael Pittman. He gets, I think he's going to be good. And I think that's going to make Jonathan Taylor even better because I think, do you think Wentz and Ryan are the same type of quarterbacks?
I feel like Matt Ryan makes less mistakes and more like a little has more IQ. And that's kind of what the Colts need.
Yeah.
Like, what are the Colts really missing? I feel like they're missing
nothing. They are missing nothing. They just needed to beat Jacksonville.
I feel like they're like good at everything, but honestly, I think they need a true wide receiver one.
Yeah, but then the news that nobody thought coming back in what I think it was like early February. Tom Brady retired. The GOAT was gone. Everybody was happy. We were like, it's good to go. Let's go. We're winning the Super Bowl. Everybody's winning the Super Bowl. But then he said, no, I think him and Giselle got into one fight. He's like, you know what, babe? I'm going back to work. He came out of retirement and the GOAT Tom Brady is back. The Buccaneers, we were worried they were going to get Baker Mayfield or somebody else. Who knows what the Buccaneers were going to do? They called Brady and were like, Brady, come back. The GOAT's back, man. And I heard a rumor. Buccaneers back to the Super Bowl.
I heard a rumor. It's a slight chance. I don't know if it's true, but I heard Tom Brady might want to go to the Dolphins.
I heard that too. That was gonna be that. We're like thinking the same. You know what, man? Maybe we got the same brain. But yeah, that's what I was just about to say. I was about to say, imagine if he went to Miami. I know the Buccaneers, they still have him as their quarterback. But there was that rumor that came out that he would go to Miami, and we talked about Tyreek Hill.
The Buccaneers,
Tom Brady and Tyreek Hill on the same team.
Tom Brady and the Buccaneers is scary, but I feel like if he went to the Dolphins, then everyone really should be scared.
That's even scarier because then you put a younger tight end with Mike Gesicki. You put Jalen Waddle on one side, Tyreek on the other. It's over. Give Miami the Super Bowl. Yeah. But man,
that's a scary team. I hope not. I
wanted to take a moment there to give a shout out to Tom Brady for coming back. We saw Kirk Cousins. He went back to the Vikings. The Vikings are the Vikings. Who knows what the hell they're going to do. We also saw two big moves for the Los Angeles Rams. They went out and bolstered their defense. They went out and traded for Khalil Mack from my Chicago Bears. And then they went out and got J.C. Jackson, the interception machine from New England Patriots.
Khalil Mack's on the Rams?
Or no, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh yeah, the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers.
Oh, I was about to say.
Oh,
I was about to say, oh yeah, I remember that. Okay.
yeah,
I was about to
Chargers.
say, I got scared for a second.
If I said the Rams, my bad. I meant the Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers, Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. They're both still in their defense. Speaking of defense, Buffalo went out and got Von Miller. Von Miller's coming off of a Super Bowl with L.A. He said, I'm going to go up and hang out with Josh Allen. And,
I feel like they kind of overpaid for him. It's kind of like old. They gave him 6 years.
They gave him, they gave him a 6-year, $120 million deal. I didn't realize that's kind of a lot for how old he is, but
I mean, I'm not even saying the money is a lot, but like the amount of years.
Well, yeah, that's a lot of years. I didn't even realize it was that many years. I thought it was only like 4, but that's yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. But did you see that one thing where they were like Josh Allen, worried about Josh Allen's being traded, and the GM came out and said, I don't care, I'll trade myself before Josh Allen? I was like, that's great. That was phenomenal.
I feel like basically almost anybody is tradable, but like Mahomes, Josh Allen, Herbert.
Are you sure? After this offseason, man, I might be traded. Who knows? I might be working for somebody. I don't know. But the Los Angeles Rams, speaking of the Rams, they went out and got a guy to be on the right or left side of Cooper Kupp. They went out and got Allen Robinson from the Chicago Bears. That was a
good pickup.
The more and more I talk about this, the Bears really blew everything up. They're gonna suck this year.
Yeah, you guys blew everything up and didn't get nothing.
Oh my God. Hopefully I do good in fantasy again, because I need to defend my title.
I don't even know if you can pick up Darnell Mooney for fantasy.
We have Darnell Mooney, but we need another receiver, man. Well, maybe.
What pick are you guys?
Oh no, we got Brian Pringle. I'm sorry. We got the Pringle. We got the Pringle. He's going all the breakout superstar of the year.
He was like wide receiver 5 for us.
Literally. Earlier I said Cordell Patterson re-signed with the Falcons. That's good for Cordell. He deserves it. He did Mr. Everything this year. He was phenomenal. We talked about Marcus Mariota. He's on the Falcons. Matt Ryan's on the Colts. Leonard Fournette is staying in Tampa Bay. Hopefully Brady does stay, because if not, then I'm going to be real surprised. The last free agency that I want to talk about here before we get on to a little bit of basketball and talk a little bit about baseball, and then I annoy you with some wrestling. How do you feel about MVS from the Green Bay Packers going over to your Kansas City Chiefs? You think he'll be able to do good with Mahomes?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's a good pickup. Like he's a good deep threat for a replacement for Tyreek Hill, but he's no Tyreek Hill.
Well, and I think that's the thing, like we were talking about earlier, that's the biggest problem with that, where it's like, you're not going to have that guy to where when next season, they're going to double and triple team Kelsey. And yes, those two are going to be open, but they're not going to be able to make those plays that Tyreek Hill made. Some of those plays were ridiculous, man. Like he was making video game Madden type plays that me and you would play on rookie mode.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, I don't know what we're going to do in the draft, but we definitely need another legit wide receiver 1.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. And, who knows? It's only March, man. It's a season's a long way away. We could be back here on August, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe Phillip Rivers will come back. Maybe he had another kid in the offseason. Imagine.
Where did Robert Woods go again?
He's on the Titans. He was going to be the other guy that I was going to mention before, because I didn't even think about him. I forgot about Robert Woods. He went to the Tennessee Titans to take over for Julio, because Julio's sitting at home now.
Oh,
so
we might pick up Julio.
Oh my God, imagine. I'd cry.
We should pick up Julio.
That's the problem. I love that fate. Man, but see, that's the problem. If he could stay healthy, he would be so good, but he can't stay healthy no more.
Yeah, I know.
And that's the biggest problem. I had him in fantasy a few years ago, and he just could not stay healthy, and it was awful. And this year he couldn't. This year was awful.
He was doing horrible this year.
Yeah. So now that we got all of the football out of the way, we talked about so much football, man. There was just so much to go on in this month of March. I hope it continues, because this makes me want to continue to play Madden and continue to look out. But baseball's back, baby. I know you're really not too much into baseball, but the lockout is over. Baseball is
Can you
back.
explain what happened with the lockout? Why did that happen?
Well, that was what I was going to talk about. So what we'll get right into it, and I won't do my big spiel about it. We're talking about baseball and blah, blah, blah. The biggest thing with the lockout was that they were worried about money. It was all about money. They were trying to figure out this. They were trying to figure out that. Everybody wanted a certain thing, and everybody wasn't happy. And they literally said that it came down to the point where they were going to cancel the season. They didn't care because at first they canceled the first 2 weeks of the season because opening day was actually supposed to be this upcoming Friday. It was supposed to be March 28th. I think that's Friday. Or no, Monday. I'm sorry. That yesterday was Friday. It was supposed to be this upcoming Monday was opening day. And then I think the Sox opener was on April 1st. But they canceled the first 2 weeks of the season, the first 5 series. And then they finally came to an agreement and everybody worked on what they wanted. And then they came to another agreement. I don't know if you know, or if you've seen, do you know how many pitchers seem to get hurt by batting and stuff?
Yeah.
So they did the universal DH. So now no pitchers hit and both leagues have a DH. So that will be good for the pitchers because there's been a lot of injuries to big name pitchers to get hurt. And then they're out for the year because they were standing in the box hitting when they really shouldn't have. So it's and that's the things where it's I just wish that the lockout didn't even happen. And I get it's all about money, but it's just these guys get paid so much money, man, sometimes Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. And these guys are just getting paid ridiculous amount of money. It's not okay. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous to play a sport. But opening day is April 7th for most teams. The home opener for the White Sox is April 12th. I was talking about it before we brought you on. Your boy Tino's going. So look out for your boy Tino. Maybe I'll be on TV. That'd be fun.
How deep are we into the baseball season right now?
It hasn't started yet. That's what I'm saying. Are you listening?
Wait, it hasn't even started?
No, that's what I was just telling you.
I thought you meant
no, it hasn't started yet. It was supposed to start on Monday. But because
the record is 0-0.
Yeah, everybody starts on April 7th.
Oh, I thought the season they stopped it in the middle of the season.
This guy, we started talking about baseball and he lost track of time. He's like, okay, la la land. That's okay. But yeah, no. So the opening day is April 7th. And then the Sox opener is on April 12th. And I'm actually going. My uncle invited me. It's his birthday. So that should be fun. But I'm just happy baseball is back, man, because I love baseball. And it's that one sport I've always grown up watching. And I don't know. It just maybe because it's a little slow for me, but I don't know.
Let's go Yankees.
Huh?
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees. Fucking Yankees. Don't get me started on the Yankees. We'll be here all day. But let's not talk too much about baseball because, like you said, nothing's really happened and not much has really been going on. We've had a few trades and everything. But let's talk a little bit more about a sport that you're more into. Let's talk a little bit about basketball because, I don't really cover basketball much here on Tino's time. I mention it here and there. But since we've been friends, you've kind of talked to me a little bit. You kind of tell me what's going on and everything. And, I kind of keep track. How do you feel about everything going on in the basketball season between, who's your favorite basketball team?
76ers.
How do you feel about how the 76ers are doing? Do you who's your pick right now to win the finals? If you had to pick a winner today.
76ers.
Okay, you can't pick your favorite team.
All right, let's say in an alternate reality, the 76ers don't win the championship.
Okay, because the 76ers, I didn't even realize, man. I haven't looked at the standings in a few days. I didn't realize the 76ers were 46-27. Damn, they're doing real good. So they might. I thought they were a little lower. But yeah, no, if you had to pick a team besides the Sixers, who else would you like? Who do you think would be?
The Nets.
The Nets? Okay. Do you think because they're in the play-in tournament right now? That's something else. I always watch basketball and everything. It's just never been one that I could cover. And there's not many guys that Like I know, and you know, besides the Bulls and Michael Jordan and everything, I really didn't know anything else besides that growing up. How do you feel about this play-in tournament? Do you like it, and do you like the concept of it?
I like it. I honestly like it because like it's like the people like the lower seeds still have something to play for. They're not just going out like not doing things. Like they have to keep playing, trying to make the playoffs. It stops kind of like people from tanking because they still have a chance of making the playoffs even if you're like the 9th seed.
Well, yeah, and that was the thing I remember when they first started it. They said that was because the league didn't want them to tank, and teams were tanking and doing all that. And you say you're a Sixers fan, and you know the poor Sixers, man, have not had good luck with first round draft picks at all. Like between Fultz, between Simmons. I mean Simmons. That's another guy. How do you feel about Simmons as a Sixers fan? Because I hear so many things on ESPN, the NBA Network, and everything. Like, what's your perspective?
Simmons got traded to the Nets.
Did he get traded? That's right. He did get traded to the Nets, man. You see how much I watch basketball.
Yeah, he got traded to the Nets for James Harden.
That's okay. That's okay. That's right. I do remember that now. Okay. So how do you feel now that Ben Simmons isn't on the team?
I was not one of those Ben Simmons haters. I actually like Ben Simmons as a basketball player. He's a good basketball player. But he didn't want to play here. We got James Harden. I can't complain.
Dude, other than going through transformations every other season between being fat and heavy and fat and skinny and whatever the hell he's doing, his diet and everything, he's one of the best basketball players in the game. And
we could have got better.
Honestly,
that option was James Harden, and we got James Harden.
Yeah, well, and that was the thing. Like, now that you said that, like, I remember everything. I just forgot that Simmons was in that trade. I thought he got traded for somebody else. But yeah, I mean, as a Bulls fan, the Bulls were sitting at top for a while. I was feeling good, man. I was like, hell yeah. But they fall into the
fifth. Need Lonzo Ball back.
Yeah, Lonzo. Well, that's the problem. Nobody can stay healthy on the goddamn Bulls, man. It's just like somebody comes back, somebody gets hurt. Somebody comes back, somebody gets hurt. And then they finally got Williams back. We got Caruso back. We got DeMar that does everything because, he was out.
That's a pretty good team.
Hey, bro, Vuk makes me so mad. Like, I want to vent right now about Vooch. Because I am frustrated. Me and my friend Brandon, he's in our fantasy football league also. We talk about it. If Vooch would stay in the paint and he would just catch the rebound and stay in the little red zone or whatever color it is, he
does be taking a lot of 3-pointers.
He takes too many 3-pointers and he just takes too many stupid shots that, like, nothing against what he can do, but he's not there to do that. That's what Levine and DeMar and Caruso and all those guys are for. Vooch needs to get rebounds because the Bulls don't have that big guy besides Vooch and Williams, and Vooch is trying to shoot threes.
Yep.
So it just
but the Bulls are one of the teams I would not want to see in the playoffs early. Because they can really
figure it out because they're slipping. They're falling way too close and they're getting too close to the play-in tournament. That's why I wanted to ask you what you thought about it. Because if the Bulls have to go into that, man, I'm gonna cry.
If the Bulls go into the play-in tournament and face the Nets, it's over.
Well, and that's what I'm worried about.
And I can see like someone like if the Bulls come against someone like the Hawks in the play-in tournament, that could also be scary for them.
Well, and man, that worries me so much.
But the Bulls are also a team you don't want to see. Like the Bulls are just iffy.
So while we're talking about this and everything, I want to hear your NBA finals. Like who are your two teams in the NBA finals? Like in June.
The West is so weak. I don't even know. I say the Sixers. Versus, do I want to say the Suns?
Man, that's the team. That's the team. I want to see the Suns. I
want to see the Suns.
Even Memphis would be cool.
Maybe the Warriors or Suns.
Not the Warriors. Nobody wants to see the Warriors. The Warriors.
I really can't see any. Or the Lakers. Like, I understand the Lakers suck right now,
Bro,
but like with
what
the LeBron and
happened
AD,
to the Lakers? Did you see that meme that said the only person that's gonna save the Lakers is John Cena? You can't see
yeah, that team sucks,
me. Bro,
yo.
I would have laughed. So you're taking the Lakers and the Sixers right now.
No, I'm taking the Sixers. The Suns are hard to beat. Like when I be watching the Suns game, they're hard to beat.
Bro,
That's
they are. ESPN on Sunday night, Friday nights, whenever they play, any night, they're so good. It's ridiculous.
That's a hard team to beat right there. They're like, I want to compare them to like the what would be an NFL team you could compare the Suns to?
What,
like,
this season?
Yeah.
The Chiefs?
They're just good.
I mean, they do everything. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, maybe Brady, but I mean, I don't think that they got a lot of like, because what? It's Devin Booker. Yeah.
I guess Chris Paul could be the Brady.
Oh, yeah. Chris Paul, true.
That's a good comparison. The Bucks are like the Suns. Like, they're real dangerous.
It just, well, and that's the thing where it just like I'm gonna take the Suns, and I would love to see the Bulls, but like I don't see it happening. So I'm gonna take the Suns and Heat to make the finals. I don't know, like the Heat are sitting at top, and maybe that just whatever I'm saying, like just because they're sitting at the top. But I think that would be a really good finals. And yes, they made it last year, and but I think I want to see the Suns win it all. If you had to pick right now, like if who would win between the Sixers and you said what, Suns?
Sixers and Suns. I say Sixers and
how many games?
Six.
Due
to the fact that DeAndre Ayton cannot guard Joel Embiid at all.
Man, but I'm so happy for the Suns because they were a dismal team for so long. They were always in the bottom of the league, and they're finally at the top. And
out of nowhere.
I love seeing underdog teams like that, like it makes it more exciting. And it just, I'm tired of seeing the Lakers and LeBron and blah, 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 and this and that. Nobody wants to see the king no more. Just like in the NFL, nobody wants to see the king. But, we'll have to come back to that. Maybe I'll bring you on the show again when we get closer to the playoffs. And then when we get to the playoffs, maybe we'll do a prediction playoffs for the NBA, and we could get through it, and we could go through it and see what happens at the time when we actually know all teams who are in the playoffs. Yeah. But now that we talked about basketball, the last sport that we're going to talk about, and this is one you're not too much into right now, but you said you were back in the day. It's WrestleMania week, baby. It's in Dallas, Texas. It's the biggest two-night event, the most stupendous two-night event in WWE history in Dallas, Texas. And you say you love the old days. Did you know that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be there on Saturday? He's fighting, or he's just going to be there? I don't know. He's supposed to be just on like a talk show. It's the Kevin Owens show. Kevin Owens is a wrestler right now. But the way he's been talking is I listened to a Rich Eisen podcast from a few weeks ago, and he said that he's been training for an in-ring return. Man, if Stone Cold returns and he comes out and the glass shatters and he comes out in his vest, I am screaming like a child. Your boy Tino is going to be live, so don't forget to check that out. Make sure to share it with all your friends. You make sure to share it to all your friends. Help your boy Tino out. But, man, I don't know. So back in the day, who were your favorite guys?
Bro, I have a lot. I can name for days, but back in the days, I had all the video games. I had all the video games, the wrestling toys, all that. But my favorite.
Do you have any of them now? Like you see me?
Nah, they're all gone now. Oh, okay. But I had a John Cena. I had John Cena toy, Triple H toy, all of them, and the ring too.
Do you ever have like the Elimination Chamber, like the Hell in a Cell, a steel cage, or anything like that?
Yeah, one of those rings where you can put them together. I had one of those.
Yeah, see, I had an Elimination Chamber when I was growing up. The problem with me though is I would break so much stuff and I didn't care like I do now, and it makes me so mad, man, because I would have Tupperwares. I had 5 Tupperwares full of action figures, belts, rings, just everything. And now if you see the things that these things go for, I would have a goddamn gold mine on.
I was just about to say that all these things that we had as kids that is gone now. But
man, it makes me so sad. It's just like I could buy a car, I could pay rent, I could buy a house with some problem. And it's funny because probably most of the ones back then I probably wouldn't like now. So it just, but
let me name my favorite wrestlers.
So yeah, give me your top 5. Sorry, I got off track there for a second. So give me your top 5 favorite wrestlers.
Jeff Hardy, of course.
AEW, Jeff Hardy. Did you see that thing where Matt's getting beat up and Jeff starts doing his thing on AEW? It was so great, man.
That's my GOAT, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
I gotta put John Cena on the list. I mess with John Cena.
That's mine. That will always be mine. I don't know why. That was always the first match I always remember, like where I was, what I was doing was WrestleMania 20 when he faced Big Show for the United States Championship. And when he won, man, I don't know why I always remember that. So he's got to be on the list. So
John Cena, of course. I want to say Edge.
Man, do you think he's facing AJ Styles this weekend?
He still wrestles?
Yeah, Edge versus AJ Styles. Man, you need to. You might not watch wrestling, but you need to watch WrestleMania, or even watch my live stream and watch it with me. So then you could at least
tuned into your live stream that day.
When is it? It's Saturday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Saturday, as in what?
It's next Saturday and Sunday. It's 2 nights.
All right, yeah. I'll be tuned in. For sure.
But yeah, he's facing AJ Styles, and do you know you know who AJ is, right?
No, I don't know who AJ is.
No, AJ, he was in TNA, he was in Impact, he's been all around the world. So, but so who's number 2?
I gave you 3. I said
we got Hardy, Cena, and Edge. Top 2.
Like the high flyers, I gotta go Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio is the best. Have you played?
Huh?
Have you played the new wrestling game, or do you play like any of the video games?
I actually do, because my friend, I'm at college right now. He has WWE. WWE.
Oh, okay.
I don't know which one. I don't know if it's 22 or 21, but he has one of those two.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It looks the same as the old ones.
Yeah, this one, the one that just came out, it came out a week ago. This one's way better than the one that came out a few years ago. The one that came out a few years ago would glitch and you couldn't even play it. But this one came out and Mysterio's on the cover. And it's the gameplay's phenomenal. There's stories in it that's a lot better. They brought back GM mode from SmackDown versus Raw.
What system do you have?
Xbox One. I know. I don't like. I like PlayStation. I like PlayStation, but I just can't play it, and the controller's too small, and it just So
I don't like Xbox because the analog is here and here. Yeah. I rather play like this than like this.
I feel you. So who's your number 1?
My number 1 is Jeff Hardy.
Oh, so who's your number 2 then? Or okay, so who's your number 5? I guess I did the list wrong. Who's your last favorite guy then? I messed that all up.
I don't want to be generic and say Undertaker. Nah, it's not. It's not.
He's going in the Hall of Fame though, so
that's good.
I wouldn't blame you.
I gotta think. Someone I really, really like. Not just saying like them because they're popular, like Randy Orton or someone like that. I want to think of who was really my top. Because I know, of course, like the 4 I named, that was Def, but I need to put one more person. Who was someone I really liked back in the day?
You watch what about King Booker?
King Booker T?
Yeah, like Booker T when you
Booker T, Booker. Kofi Kingston. Of course, I know all of them, but I'm trying to think.
Man,
be my favorite.
Come on. You gotta think faster. The people don't want to. I'm gonna put a thinking cap by you.
I want to say, you know what? We'll just go and say Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. Yeah. The Almighty. Man, can't go wrong with Bobby Lashley. Nothing. And that's the thing. I don't think people realize about Bobby Lashley how long he's been doing it. He's been
still wrestling right now?
Yeah. Where have you been? God. You need to turn on the TV, my guy.
Yo, no way he's still wrestling right now.
Yeah, they're all wrestling. Every guy that you named except John Cena and The Undertaker are still wrestling.
God dang.
Yeah, Triple H just recently retired. Go check out my tribute video when it went. It's out now on YouTube, so go check it out.
All right, I have a question for you.
What question you got for Tino?
Who are your top 3 duos of all time?
What do you mean, like tag teams?
Tag team duos.
Top 3? Of course, number 1, the Hardy Boys. I'm meeting the Hardy Boys week after WrestleMania. I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun. I got to go Edge and Christian.
Edge and Christian over Edge and Randy Orton?
Ooh. Yeah, see, okay, I take that back now. Man, see, you got me there. I forgot about Rated RKO. Rated RKO. I'll say number 2 because I need to think about. Number 2 is Degeneration X for sure.
Okay.
Everyone,
that's everyone's. Like that was
no. It's not.
They were the coolest kids. I mean, they were the coolest people.
Coolest kids on the block. I want to say another one of my favorite trios is NWO, but that's a trio and that's not a duo. So I'm gonna say probably the Dudley Boys over all the other ones, just because the stuff that Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardys did, like when I was growing up, was ridiculous. And no tag team can ever compete to that. I think that's the problem with wrestling nowadays, is that we were so spoiled back in the day that now it's just garbage because they were putting their bodies on the line. They were beating each other with everything. And now they're just, floating around with UFC fighters and barely fighting. And it's just like, I think that's the problem, where just like, we got so spoiled with such good wrestling that's what we expected. And that's just times change. So, yeah. But yeah, those are my top 3. Okay. I appreciate you joining me on this episode. We've talked about a lot. We talked about pretty much every sport but soccer and boxing. Let's be real here. It's been fun. March has been a wild month, and I cannot wait to see what happens. Baseball starts in April this month. Like I said, WrestleMania is this weekend. Basketball is going to be in the playoffs soon. So we'll get you back on here on a future episode of Tino's Time to make sure we could see, and like I said, talk about more about basketball and stuff. Is there anything you have to say to the people before you go?
I'll see you guys soon. Follow me on Instagram at KingSall_7. KINGSALL_7.
There you go. Make sure to follow him and make sure to go check out all of the stuff that I got going on this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Tino's Time. I will talk to you soon.
Sir.
Thank you, King Sall, for joining me here on Tino's Time. It was a great conversation. We talked about everything here. We talked about the fantasy football. We made fun of them a little bit. We talked about all the free agencies that went down. We talked about a little bit of MLB, even though he didn't seem very interested. But that's okay because, not everybody likes all the sports. We even got into a really good conversation about wrestling that I didn't think it was going to get to. And, my man opened up about being a bigger wrestling fan. And, hey, I got him involved, and he's going to check out WrestleMania. So maybe we added somebody to the wrestling community. Thank you so much again, my man, for joining me. Make sure to go check out his Instagram and follow him and give him a like. He's one of the best dudes out there. Maybe he'll win more than one game this year in fantasy football. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode here on Tino's Time. Remember to go smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Go follow at Tino Time 1996 on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere you have on your social medias. Tino's Time 10 for all your baseball and football needs. Tino's Time Wrestling for all your WrestleMania and all your wrestling needs. Like I said before we let him go, it's WrestleMania week, baby. So make sure to go check out all of Tino's content that's coming out this week. It's only Thursday. We still have WrestleMania Friday, WrestleMania SmackDown. Then we have the most stupendous two-night event in WWE history in Dallas. in Jerry's world, with Stone Cold Steve Austin making an appearance on the KO show. We have Edge versus AJ Styles. We have the biggest WrestleMania match in WWE history to unify the WWE and Universal Champion between the big dog, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, versus the big beast incarnate, cowboy wearing hat, big beef, Brock Lesnar. It's going to be one hell of a weekend. So again, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. And until next time, this is your boy Tino signing out.